It's a Wednesday, and it's the 2nd of May. Time for Campbell Corner on Pioneer Radio, our first edition in May. And joining me by phone is the director of the Campbell Public Library of East Grand Forks, Charlotte Helgeson. And she's joining me by phone for a number of reasons. One of them is, there's illness that you're dealing with, right? Strep throat, yeah.
Spring fever comes in lots of different forms, and it's still getting to us.
Yes. Last week you couldn't make it. You were in training. Some staff was sick. That illness is still hanging around, those bugs. And so to use extra precaution and to keep me healthy and our listeners healthy, Charlotte's on the phone today, so we thank her for joining us via the telephone. Well, lots of things, again, as usual, to talk about when it comes to Campbell Library. And our first item on the agenda, this reminder for scholarship applications. There's a due date, and these scholarships are coming through the Friends of the Library at Campbell. When is that due date?
They are due on Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Okay. So you can stop on by and drop off your application. Are those forms online?
The forms you can get online,
Okay.
and you need to write an essay.
Yes.
So don't pick it up at 2 o'clock on Sunday and think you're going to get it done. So think about a book that's influenced you, put an essay together, and the friends will be reading them on Monday.
Now, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. What kind of scholarships are available and who is qualifying for them?
Any student who is attending an East Grand Forks school or who is homeschooled here is eligible for a scholarship for secondary school.
All right.
For college. Thank you. And we have had a few questions because it's the Friends, and the Friends go beyond just our library, but it is anyone who's attending one of our schools.
Okay. And again, you're mentioning homeschool, senior high, Sacred Heart. And how many scholarships are available for application?
It all depends upon how many good essays they get. The Friends are very generous.
Okay.
Generous. They could be giving out 1 scholarship or 3, all depending upon how fine these essays are. So as seniors in high school, they should be able to write some very wonderful essays.
I would hope so. And again,
I hope so too.
Yeah, that theme again for the essay is?
What book have you read that has influenced your life, and how?
All right. The deadline again is Sunday, May 6th, this Sunday at 4 p.m. Number 2, speaking of the Friends, their annual meeting is coming up next Monday, May 7th at 4 p.m. And if you would describe what the Friends of the Library is, their role, and who can be a friend.
The Friends are an advocacy group. So what they do is support us in any way we ask them to do. They have purchased furnishings for the library. They've supported programming. They just had their book sale, and so they raised some more funds, which goes only into the library for what we do here.
Right.
And absolutely anyone who wants to be a member of the Friends can join. If you live in California and you have a connection to East Grand Forks and our library, you can be a member. A member requires nothing other than filling out the form, and as an individual, it's a $10 membership, which goes a long way towards supporting things at the library. As we have mentioned before, we know how to do a lot on a little.
Very true. And again, that meeting is coming up on Monday, May 7th at 4 p.m. at Campbell Library. And how often do the Friends meet?
They meet once a month, except in the summertime.
Okay. Very good. And that, again, is in support of Campbell Library. And they do so many good things for Campbell throughout the year. Number 3, let's see now. We're into May. Lots of folks are receiving invitations for graduation parties and graduation ceremonies. And beyond that is the vast vista of summer. And part of summer, a tradition in the area, and I've come to know this, having Campbell Corner on the air here, is the summer reading program at the Campbell Library. You've had themes in the past to motivate people to become involved in that program. When does the sign-up begin for summer reading?
It started yesterday.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, so we're hoping people will sign up. If you have a big group of kids at your house, or if you're part of a daycare and you're going to bring in more than one child, we can put more than one person on a piece of paper, make sure we get all the information, parental approval. We do have to have a waiver from the parents, so you do actually have to add a signature to this.
Okay.
But there is no fee. It's something the kids can do every single Wednesday as they go through June and July and have access to everything that's in the library and also programming. We have some wonderful things lined up for this summer.
Any theme this summer?
Yes, that the library and books can take you everywhere.
Ooh, how true. Anywhere. Infinity
Everywhere.
and beyond. Infinity and beyond, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So sign up is open right now for the summer reading program. And as you make plans for summer for your family, consider that. It's a great thing to utilize and get folks involved again in a very important part of life, reading. All right. Number 4, one of my favorites again that we've talked about in the past month or so, new books arriving at Campbell Library. And even though I can't see you, I'm assuming there's books on your desk right now. And which new books do we talk about today?
I have 3 books. The first one is called Is This Thing On? Which is a friendly guide to everything digital.
Really? Okay.
So it's fun. Right on the very top of it, there's a quote from the Daily News, and it says, "Gives the feeling that a friend is explaining it all to you."
Oh, sure.
Now, we all have those friends who are techie and those who are not. So
Yes.
I'm sure these people really enjoy what they're doing.
Okay, and the book title again is?
Is This Thing On?
Is This Thing On? All right, number 1. Number 2?
Number 2, after you've learned how to use your new devices, then you can read 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. That's how I feel after learning something new sometimes with the technology.
Yeah.
But it's by Jordan B. Peterson. He's promoted as one of the more important thinkers, which I think is a great occupation.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to apply for that.
Yeah, and be paid.
Yeah, please let me know what you're thinking, and that would be your profession.
There you go.
A quote from the book is, "Our knowledge," and he's talking about all human beings, "our knowledge has been shaped by our interactions with others. We've established predictable routines and patterns of behavior." I think that is interesting because so many of us think, well, I'm going to behave this way and act this way and do this all on my own, but every person you've ever come in contact with has influenced who you are and the decisions you make. So
Very true.
yeah, he is an interesting thinker.
Okay. All right. That's book 2. And you have a third book to talk about today.
We have a book by Robert Hedden, and it's called At the Great Door of Morning, which is poems and translations. So if we have just a moment, I'm going to read a translation of a Norwegian poem by Olav H. Hauge.
That name alone has piqued my interest.
It does, doesn't it?
Olav Hauge.
I couldn't help myself.
All right.
And Mr. Hauge was a horticulturalist and a translator along with a poet in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the poem is called It's the Dream. It's the dream we carry that something wondrous will happen, that it must happen, that time will open, that hearts will open, that doors will open, that the mountain will open, that the springs will gush forth, that the dream itself will open, that one fine morning we'll drift into a harbor we didn't know was there.
Oh, my goodness. He hit the nail on the head, didn't he? Wow.
Didn't he? Yes. And we got the little harbor and the whole Norwegian feel in it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
You know, one of my goals in life has been, might still be, to have a national daily radio program for about 15 minutes. Olaf Hoagie, good day, in the area of Paul Harvey. And now I have a name to use on the air, Olaf Hoagie.
And now you know the rest of the story.
People will identify with that in this area.
Fantastic. Again, proof that the library in East Grand Forks is vibrant, it's alive, it's vital, it's a resource, it's so many things. Discover what those things are by stopping on by. They're right downtown off Demers Avenue in downtown East Grand Forks. And their hotline phone number for a conversation is area code 218-773-9121, 773-9121. And they do have a website, and the one, the only Mel Metz of your staff posts our discussions on that site, and that site address is?
egflibrary.org.
It's all right there. Make use of this great resource called Campbell Library. Well, wonderful. Happy May, warmer weather on the way, and summer thoughts.
Yes, positive, hopeful.
Positive, hopeful. I like that. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Charlotte Helgeson, the director of the Campbell Library. Campbell Corner every Wednesday at 3:05 on Pioneer 90.1.